Hello, I'm Terry Mackness, the CEO of Original S.W.A.T Footwear. Original S.W.A.T is the first company dedicated to servicing the tactical footwear market worldwide. We make and design for elite teams, which also enables us to exceed the expectations of regular officers in the execution of their daily duties.
State-of-the-art technologies, innovative business strategies, behind the scenes, insights from cutting-edge users around the globe on World Business Review with Alexander Haig.
Welcome to World Business Review. I'm Alexander Haig. Providing comfortable, tactical footwear for law enforcement is an ongoing challenge. Improved technologies and materials are creating new stomping grounds for today's law enforcement professionals. Here for this discussion is Terry Mackness, President and CEO of the Original S.W.A.T Footwear Company. Welcome, Terry. We're delighted to have you.
Thank you, Al. I'm very pleased to be here.
Good. Now, Terry, what are the challenges facing the law enforcement and the security industry that have affected the way you manufacture boots today?
I think what we've tried to achieve in manufacturing our footwear is to provide a really comfortable boot for officers, particularly officers who are at the extreme end of law enforcement, which is where the S.W.A.T officer would be.
Now, Terry, different personnel have different tactical needs. How do you address this?
By knowing what the S.W.A.T officers are called upon to do in their daily routine. That's clearly the most important thing for us, is to understand fully their operation.
The variety of challenges.
Absolutely, yes.
Good.
The different surfaces, the different motions that they're being asked to make in our footwear.
Very good. Now, for more on this fascinating subject, let's go to this World Business Review field report.
For public safety officials, comfort and tactical performance are a priority when purchasing footwear.
A great boot is one that meets the end user's expectations. If you're a police officer or a SWAT team member, that starts out with being lightweight and comfortable because they end up performing in these boots all day long. You also need cushion, like in a running shoe, where you end up, if you're having to chase a suspect down, but you also need support, stability, and protection when you end up taking that suspect down. And most importantly, or lastly, you need great traction, because you never know what type of environment you're going to be in or what the condition of that environment is going to be in, and you absolutely need great traction. Original S.W.A.T footwear is designed, developed, and produced to meet those expectations.
Lighter weight, more cushioned boots are designed for the high demands of the elite SWAT officer.
Well, as a veteran SWAT officer, I rely on these boots every day that I go out there and work, which is about 5 days a week. I rely on them for many reasons. For one, the big one I think is they're just comfortable. I wear them every day with all my gear. I have no problems with my feet at the end of my day.
The need for footwear that outperforms even during the toughest tactical maneuvers is evident.
Currently, right now, I'm working with my SWAT team. We kick down doors. I've never had a problem with these boots. We chase after suspects, we climb fences, we climb walls, and then it's just the everyday comfort too. I'm putting these boots through the ringer, and then everyday comfort where I can stand and work a shift for 11 hours without any problems to my feet.
For World Business Review, I'm Michael Clark reporting.
Now, Terry, how was the Original S.W.A.T footwear started?
I started the business about 8 years ago, and I had previous experience working in the footwear industry, making hiking boots. And it was the hiking boot business that I started to introduce the athletic construction. And I came to the law enforcement tactical business with exactly the same idea.
Yeah, to have an athletically conformed shoe, right?
Yes, yes.
Very good. Yes. Now, what are some of the common complaints that law enforcement officers have about tactical boots in general, and what have you done to respond?
I think two of the things that spring to mind is, one is comfort. Tactical officers can very often be in their footwear for 10, 12, 14 hours a day. And so the footwear itself has to be comfortable, and the environment of the foot has to be comfortable. So things like wicking linings that take away the moisture and keep the foot dry, the shape of the boot itself, the shock absorption capacity has to be there as well. And the other thing that is important is grip. You have to be assured that when you put your foot down, that with your equipment and so forth, that the foot stays where it should stay, and you can then carry on with the next motion.
Now, you've touched on this, of course, but what makes a really good boot?
I think the combination of all of those factors, plus support in the right area, but also making the boot out of first quality materials. Right. You can have all the design features, but if you don't execute by using good leather, by using proper heel counters, that's the support area at the back, all of those elements, even down to the type of thread that you use, because failure of thread, I don't know whether in your military history you had boots where the stitching unraveled, but it makes a boot useless.
Of course, and very quickly.
Yes, yes.
Very good. Now, what is this term LAST, L-A-S-T? What is that?
Well, sir, I just happen to have a last with me. That is the former around which a boot is made. But for me, this is probably the most expensive investment I made prior to starting this business. I went to a last making specialist in Germany and described the type of last that I wanted and the modifications that I wanted made to ensure that what I got back was a true athletic last that would fit in the right places and give support. Whereas the lasts historically used in this industry related back to the military lasts that were issued by the US government in 1942. Now, at that time, people's feet were a vastly different shape. And it's not a relevant last, but also if you're trying to fit a whole army, the type of last that you would design would not be snug.
All right.
So hence, this is the foundation of our boot and the foundation of our business.
Well, as a veteran of those old World War II boots, I can tell you they made the foot fit the shoe.
Absolutely, and my philosophy is to try and do it the other way around, and try and make a boot that fits people's feet, rather than to make the foot adapt over the years. I mean, everybody used to talk both about hiking boots and about military boots, about having to break them in. And breaking in is a relative term. I mean, it can take 4 or 5 years.
It can be breaking the foot on the process.
Right.
In the process.
Yes.
Now, SWAT officers often encounter unique performance situations. What are some of them, and how does your boot help this?
Well, I think if you imagine, say, a cop-type movie, and you imagine a chase scene. So you're apprehending a criminal. The criminal runs away. So we have to jump over a fence. We have to land correctly at the other side of the fence, better, hopefully, than the perpetrator. We chase him. He climbs up over a wall, onto the top of a roof, goes sideways across the top of a roof. I mean, here we are looking at situations where then he's got to find another way out of there. And at some point, you have to make a sprint across an area and nab, so to speak, the perp. And all of those things are part of a SWAT officer's daily life. So we have changes in movement, we have shock absorption, we have support around the ankle. All of these features are very important in helping the SWAT officer execute
Yeah, and I guess each one of them can be challenged in the changing environment you just described in different ways.
Absolutely, yes, yeah.
Now, Terry, tell us about the original SWAT World Challenge Series.
The original SWAT World Challenge Series is a competition that we sponsor, and apart from the obvious benefits of sponsoring a competition, and in the field report you saw excerpts from that, so you get the idea there. But what it did do for us was to get us in touch with the world's elite SWAT teams. And for the last 2 years, in fact, the challenge has been won by GSG9, which is the German SWAT team. And we've worked with them and with US teams to help develop our latest boot. And it's been just a serendipitous sort of piece of luck that came our way that I wasn't really expecting. But to be able to talk to these guys and get their input has been very, very helpful.
Now, at this juncture, Terry, we normally ask our guest to give our viewers a prediction of what he sees in this business in the near-term future, in the next year or two. What would be your prediction for your business?
I think that we will continue to feed off of the advances that are made in athletic footwear. By comparison, our industry are minnows in comparison to Nike, Adidas, and but their R&D budgets are enormous, and they do forge new ground and bring new materials to the availability of the rest of us. And it is by keeping up with them that we're able to produce a better boot.
Now, it seems that once again the clock tells me we're going to have to terminate what has been an extremely interesting and even fascinating discussion. But before doing so, Terry, I want to thank you for your very fine presentation today.
Thank you very much, Al. It's been a great pleasure to be here and certainly a pleasure to meet you.
And thank you for watching. Until next time, for World Business Review, I'm Alexander Haig.